Today is Wednesday, December 10th. It's 2:39 p.m. Mountain Time. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, forever and ever, so let it be true. Love, honor, and respect to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and to His Holy Son, who died for the 12 tribes of Israel, Matthew chapter 15, verse 24, Matthew chapter 10, verse 5 and 6, and to the double honors to the apostles of GMS, to the 4 major prophets, to the 12 minor prophets, and to the hopeful elect, the brothers, the Hakim, the 144,000, who are preaching the word of God on the 4 corners of this earth, risking their lives day in and day out. And shalom, peace and blessings to my brothers, sisters, and children who are watching this video. We're on another lesson. Excuse me. We're going to talk today about the government, the branches of government, and about psychological warfare on every American citizen here in America. Remember, America is a plantation, and you're the slaves, and they make you think that you're free, and then that goes back to the brainwashing of the television and your schools that you send your children to, and the schools that we went to as when we were children, preschool and kindergarten, and your elementary, your middle school, high school. Some of you, some people made it to college, and some people made it to the big Ivy League schools, and but it's called. We're going to get into deliberate manufacturing. Okay, that the government uses these flunkies, which are your senators, your Congress, your politicians, and your professors at the Ivy League schools. Okay, remember, the Rothschilds are pulling the strings, all right, and they're experts in brainwashing. They're the masters of ceremonies. Okay, they know every angle, every in the Holy Book, God calls them. He says about, well, they're the most cunning. That's in the book of Genesis chapter 3. He's the most cunning of them all. The beast, all right, the serpent, Satan, the serpent. Goes goes to Cain, Esau, the Greeks, the ancient Romans, all right, and those Herodians, the Amalekites, the grandson of Esau. Okay, and they search everything out. So they're masters in brainwashing and psychology. Okay, that's why you brothers and sisters need to wake up. All right, they study day and night. Okay, and they know who the real ancient Hebrew Israelites are. Okay, and we're a big threat to them, and that's why they're gonna make their move to exterminate us off the face of the earth. So we're gonna get right into it. Deliberate manufacturing. So to force people to fight sideways instead of up, or fighting what's in front of you. All right, and this is the mind psychology that they use on your brain. All right, so they have everything set up for everybody to fight everybody. Okay, and then they use the forever chemicals in the water, and then they're putting the chemtrails in the air, and then they defiled the food. So you have people that are eating all this junk food, and that's just going to make you weak. You're going to become very weak by the food that you're eating. And then if you're drinking, if you're smoking, you're doing drugs, I mean, you're just totally out of your mind, and you're weak. You're not going to fight the good fight. Okay, so Satan has all these. He's throwing everything at you to destroy you, in the water, in the air, and the food supply, if you turn on the news, like I told you about a week ago, my whole body just was attacked in the body. It's the stuff that's coming in, it's in the air, it's attacking. Just imagine how bad it would have been if I didn't make my own food. Because food is what fights to keep you alive. Your body, God made you, He made the body to fight anything that you eat that's not right. Your body is fighting 24/7 to keep you breathing. And it's a bonus to read the Holy Book. That's the real food, that's the real water, that's the real olive oil, vinegar, is eating that word. All right? But God talks about eating the greens. He talks about when He created the herb, and that's the herbs, and to eat the raw vegetables, and eat good. Make your own food. Your body is a temple. So you got to fight the good fight. Yeah, I haven't got sick for a long time. My body just, like I said, whatever is out there, it attacks your bones. And I got to tiptoe on this because, when you talk about the thing that they're, what's going on with people's health and what's going on out there, like I said, I have to tiptoe. Because back in the day when I was making videos, they took all those videos down. When I was breaking down what was going on, what happened, 6 years ago? Like I said, I have to tiptoe here. But the number one thing is you got to keep on eating good and fighting this good fight. But if you turn on the news, it's people are coming down ill. Excuse me. It's real dry here in Colorado. Like your mouth gets very, very dry. Your nose, your skin. I always put olive oil, and I have to drink olive oil just to soothe my throat. All right. You gotta drink the teas, the good honeys, the raw honey for the throat. I mean, you just gotta keep on fighting the good fight. All right. But they're throwing every knife. They're throwing all these daggers at us. So you gotta be sharp in the mind, mentally, physically, and spiritually ready for this fight. But most of these Americans, they're not ready for this fight. Okay, and that's why it says that they set this up for you to be fighting, never to be fighting in front. Everybody is just totally confused. All right, they're just like, they're off because what you're eating, what you're breathing. I mean, these people, like I said, they're experts in brainwashing and destroying the body, destroying the mind and the body. So to force people to fight sideways instead of up or in front of you, this involves showing people an opposing side, who the opposing side, and who's the dumbest. All right. So remember, we're talking about the people that they have, they're flunkies, these millionaire flunkies and the billionaire flunkies. Okay, all your senators, all your presidents, they're all flunkies, coffee boys and coffee girls. All right, they use them to keep you entertained. So you have Republicans that are watching their people talking against the Democrats, and then the people that are on the Democrats, they're watching their leaders talk and belittle the people that are in the Republican Party. So this involves showing people an opposing side who's the dumbest, who are the idiots from the other group, to convince them that the opposing side is insane, when in reality you're being played. See, you're being played on both sides. They take orders. And like I told you, when Joe Biden was in office, I told you he was a great actor. How he went out there and then he'd be looking around. It was like watching like a dark comedy. Okay, and you're saying, what am I watching here? But then it would show him moving real quick and talking to people like he was all normal, because he was normal. It was an act, all right, for people to go, what is going on here? But they're all playing you. They're all together. The Republicans and the Democrats. They're one body on the left-hand side. All right. They worship Satan. You're being played. The American people, the civilians, all right, the U.S. citizens. keeps you divide and conquer. Just like when they push this out for everybody to kill each other. They want everybody just to go at each other. That's part of the plan. All right? Mind psychology. So this involves showing people an opposing side who's the dumbest, the idiots from the other group, to convince them that the opposing side is totally insane, when in reality you're being played. Means someone is manipulating or deceiving you. That's the television, CNBC, CNN, Fox News. They're deceiving you. They're manipulating you, and they want you to have. They're building you up so you can snap. You know, they want you to take your own life or for you to hurt others. These people are evil and wicked. But when you know this truth, you'll get the true understanding. All right? Like our job is to continue to read the Word of God and be ready for a spiritual fight. And it's a fight. Every day I'm fighting for my life. All right? There's no easy day. Every day. Okay? Every day I'm fighting for my life. All right? There's forces out here that they know who we are. All right? And you're always going to be under attack. All right? By these forces, and then you'll have your own family members and friends and neighbors attack you. But you got to have total control. Okay? Don't lose control. You have to have control every situation with some class and dignity. All right? I know there's sometimes where you just want to just yell at somebody, beat the horn, but don't do it. Keep calm. All right? Use your brain. That's why God gave you a brain to think. Don't fall for these traps. Don't go out there protesting. Don't try to fist fight with people. Every day I hear people get killed on the roads. Road rages. Every day people are getting blown away, stabbed. I mean, the violence in this country is out of control, and it's just going to get worse. So, like right now, what we're talking about, deliberate manufacturing, this is all for their gain. All right, what they're doing. Okay, so let's start with from the top. So the government, they're beating you down every day, and their hope is that you're just gonna they're gonna beat you down so bad, and when they break this economy, when they bring down the hammer on the U.S. dollar and on your 401, your IRA, your Roth account, your pensions, that you're just gonna get on your knees and do whatever they want them to do to you. All right, that you're just gonna comply and take that devil's chip. Okay, this is where we're out here to prepare you, brothers and sisters, for what's coming, and it's coming fast. Okay, so they want you to obey. Americans, they're hoping that Americans won't riot, that you're just gonna submit. You're gonna be on your knees and you're gonna say, we'll do whatever you want. That's what they want. Okay, and we know things ain't gonna. A lot of people are so broken. Americans are so broken, and they're being beat up so bad. Many are gonna just do whatever. They're gonna take that devil's chip. But then you're gonna have a lot of people that fight back. They're not gonna accept this. All right, you're gonna have people that are just totally gonna lose it, and they're gonna riot out there. All right, because we're in that time of a crisis. Okay, and then us brothers, sisters, and children that are in this truth, that know this truth, we're gonna wait on the Lord. Okay, but remember, all the great men were prepared. So yesterday, silver hit over $60 an ounce. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. It says 62.19. That's silver futures. I might be a little under that, but by the end of the day, it's saying it's going to hit 62. Now it says 62.20. You can see it right there. It says silver. This is the COMEX. $62. Okay. We've been telling people for decades about this, right? They need silver for everything. Okay. They've been brainwashing the people. They want you to continue to keep your money in the bank, have your 401 and your IRA, your Roth accounts, your pensions. But remember, it's being destroyed daily with inflation. Okay? The only thing that goes up on this earth is gold and silver. And it's all biblical. That's the Most High's money. And we warned you, you have to be prepared, because this could go drag 4, 7, 10, which I believe is going to go at least 10 more years. Okay, it could go 15. You see how fast these days, we're almost in 2026. 2026 is the year of the Depression. Okay, we warned you though. So it hit it's hitting $62 right now. Okay, in the beginning of this year, 2025, it was just at 30. So just say that you bought $50,000 of gold. All right, you would have you made over 50,000. You'd be over $100,000 right now of wealth of silver, which is, the silver is worth way more. It should be at 3,000 an ounce. All right, gold should be 25 to really about 50,000. But on a low number, 25,000 an ounce to 50,000. It's gonna go back to where it should be. But like I said, they've been manipulating gold and silver. All right, because they want the American Dumb and Dumber to put all their money in the system, the beast system, which they're burning that whole system down, because we're going to go into the one world order, the RFID chip, the devil's chip. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, with gold and silver, people who are prepared will be able to barter for anything. Okay, there'll be people out there in this world, and those other third world countries, they know what real wealth, they know what real money is, and they know it's gold and silver. All the silver's being, the billionaires are buying everything up. It's going to be real soon here. It's about to, silver is about to shoot off like a rocket. And we warned you. If you have money in that, take it all out and run. So wherever city, every city and state has where you can go buy gold and silver and then go hide it. Okay, that's just for you to. I'm not saying this for you to be rich. All right, it's for you to eat. All right, it's going to get bad. 99.9% of Americans will be destitute when they bring this system down. You're going to see people jumping out of buildings. All right. So if you would have bought $100,000 of silver in January of 2025, and we're in December, you would have over doubled your money. Right? Right now it's sitting at 62. So it blew everything away. I believe they said silver. You made a 120% profit. I think gold's at 60, 65. You're always going to make good on gold, but the star right now is silver. The big name in 2026 is what happened to silver. People are just going to, they're going to be kicking themselves. People are going to be so mad because you ain't going to be able to get it. Right? We're in a world war, and you need silver for everything. Everything. From the hospitals to ICBM missiles, short-range missiles, they take a few pounds of silver, and once those blow up, silver's gone. Every electric car has silver in it. Every car has silver, but the electric cars have a lot of silver in there. Then they're making those batteries that are going to go from 6 to 1,000 mile range. They need 1 kilo, just a kilo just for one battery. All right, and then you're talking about the solars, and it just goes on and on. There's thousands of uses around the world. They all need it. All right, like I said, it's gonna get. Eventually, they're gonna what they did back in the old days, gold and silver, where they're gonna want you to. They're gonna ban it. They're gonna tell you to turn it all in to the government. This is going to be worldwide. It's going to get ugly out here. Remember, people will barter. All right? Like I said, hide it in a good place. But things are going down. All All right, this is they're keeping this down on the down low, man. They don't want, like I said, they control the television. All right, and that's in the holy book of. We can read it right into the holy book of James. He says, "Woe to the rich." Let me read that real quick. Warning to the rich. The holy book of James chapter 5 verse 1. And now you rich people, listen to me. Weep and wail over your miseries that are coming upon you. Your riches have rotted away. And this is talking to these people, the people who believed in this system. All right. The only people that are going to make it through this are the elite, which are, we're talking about the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts. All right. They have most all the gold and silver of the world. All right. And they have them in their underground bunkers. And then God's elect, starting with the apostles, the prophets, 144,000, and you brothers, sisters, and children. God's going to be our fortress. But everybody else, all these other billions of people are going to be destitute. They're going to be, it's going to be bad. All right? People, there's starvation is coming. And there's going to be people out there, it's just going to be bad. Cannibalism's coming back. All right? But we warned all the brothers that are in this truth, we're all prepared. I have several different properties and places where I, have my things underground, all right? And all his brothers, we all will help each other during that day, all right? Brothers and sisters that call upon the ancient Hebrew name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right? So we will eat, but the rest of these people, it's going to be bad out here. Right, but you've been warned of what's happening. There's so many. I have so many things I could talk about the metals and all this like this. But like I said, the number one thing, their number one focus is God. All right, the Lord and His ancient Hebrew name, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. But let's get right into this. All right. So they want everybody to obey. All right. This is the wicked. All right. We're not going to obey them. We obey God, the holy word of God. That's who we obey. Okay, and we're gonna, like I said, real soon here, you better record these videos. We're gonna be bringing out more and more videos, but there's gonna be a time where they're gonna shut this all down. All right, because they don't want people to know this information. That's why on television they want you to think everything is okay. That's that brainwashing. All right, they want everybody to obey. Most elite behavioral strategists believe that most Americans are just going to be on their knees and accept the RFID chip, the devil's chip. The public is being conditioned for a collapse far bigger than anything seen in 2008. Okay, because what's coming, this crash is going to be worse than every fall of every kingdom put together. All right, this is going to make 1929 look like little children playing with their little toys and lollipops and candy on a blueberry farm. Okay, this is going to be the worst ever, and it was all by design. When it says the public is being conditioned, that's why people they push out there on CNBC to buy your cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, but that's fake. Just like the US dollar, that's fake. But the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency ties in with the RFID chip. It ties in together, okay? Because they're showing the people that the US dollar is dying, and everybody can see that. Anybody that has any type of intelligence, that's why when you go to the store, you see everything doubles and triples. That's called inflation, okay? So people can see that with their own eyes that the dollar is dying, and that's why so many people are buying into that cryptocurrency. But it's going to bypass that cryptocurrency. It's going right to the devil's chip, where you'll have no control. Even the cryptocurrency, you have no control. It's fake. It's inside of a phone, a computer. All right, but this is on a different level. This is going to be a chip they're going to put in your right hand and in your forehead. All right, and this is for the people that bow down to the beast system. We're not going to do that. That's where we're going to be able to be out here and we're going to barter. All right, they have all these plans, but it ain't gonna go how they want it. Things are gonna be moving so fast, and there's gonna be people that are gonna fight against this. Okay, the danger isn't just the economic fallout, it's how people will react when the trigger finally snaps, when they finally bring this system down, when they trigger the finally, when they trigger and it finally snaps the system. All right, the psychological techniques used to keep citizens compliant during a crisis. All right, like I said, they do their research. They're masters of ceremonies. They're the masters of brainwashing. All right, they're looking at all the different scenarios that can happen. All right, the psychological technique used to keep citizens compliant during a crisis. Why confusion is the most powerful modern weapon. Confusion, to keep the people confused. All right, we're in that time. Excuse me, of confusion. They want you confused. Then with the food that you're eating, you're like this. The water you're drinking, you're like this. All right, the air that you're breathing in. So people are just like dizzy. They're just like this. They want you in that state of mind, in confusion. That's why you brothers and sisters need to smarten up. All right, you're gonna see all these so-called tough people out here. They're gonna turn into they're gonna melt. All right, you're gonna see all these so-called tough people out here. These people, they're not gonna know what to. They're gonna be holding on to the toilet seats. All right, when the draft comes, when they see multiple cities hit with ICBMs, when the famine comes, when the whole economic collapse comes, they see people jumping out of buildings. You're gonna see these so-called people that you think are tough. They're gonna melt. All right. All right. The only strong men on this earth are the apostles and the prophets, and the 144,000 men. And we're gonna stand strong in that day. All right. We're here for you, brothers and sisters and children, the great multitude. All right. We're gonna make sure you make it to the finish line. Why confusion is the most powerful modern weapon and how it's engineered. Division is setting the stage for a controlled collapse, and it's controlled. They're bringing this whole thing down, and that's why in 2026 we're going into hyperinflation. It's going to wipe out everybody's savings, retirement. All right, we warned you what to buy during this time, and don't be a fool. I see a lot of fools out there. Oh, God will take care of me. These are the fugazis, which means the fakes and the phonies. All right, that think God's just gonna come and just land food on their lap. All right, there's a lot of people that are lazy. All right, they're just sitting out in a pond and thinking everything's gonna be all right. They're totally out of their minds. All right, all the great men moved. We did not sit idle. We moved. That's why I tell you, brothers and sisters that are not out here in the streets. You know, I'm talking about the older men, maybe real young kids that are at home, and I'm talking to you women. Start learning how to jar fruits, vegetables. Start learning how to cook and how to put things away and how to survive when it collapses. All right? Learn how to make weapons, booby traps in your house. Get plastic, get ready to cover up your windows, to board up your windows. Make different exits to get out of the home, and be ready to have a bag of have all your olive oils, I told you your brothers and sisters that have a lot of fish in glass with olive oil, that'll keep you alive. All All right, you're not going to want to be outside cooking a steak. You're going to invite 1,000 people to your house. All right, you need band-aids. I mean, just think about everything to survive in case you have to go and you have to move quickly. And I advise everybody not to go to the mountains. All right, you'll freeze to death and you'll be killed. There'll be so many people out there killing each other with rifles and guns. Your best places is to be in the city and go house to house and stay away from the highways. Once those people go on the highways and they panic and there's some type of a terror attack, they're never going to get off those highways. That'll be a death trap. All right, start learning things. Okay, but be ready to have some extra shoes. Have toenail clippers. All right, you don't want your foot to get infected. All right, have everything that kills infections. All right, in case you stepped on a nail or something like that, or a rock, or there's going to be some people running out there with no shoes. Be prepared. All right, all the great men were prepared. They didn't walk around here like they didn't have nothing. They were all prepared men. All right, and remember, God will always be with you if you're 100% with Him. All right, just be strong. It's just real dry. My throat's real dry. So, and that's what they want everybody, their mind to be confused. And everybody is confused. The majority of these people are confused. They have no understanding what's going on. All right. Every time you turn on the news or you're on the internet, it's just bad news after bad news, and it's just getting worse by the day. All right. But they're behind this whole collapse. All right. They want this to collapse because they have a very short time. That's Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It's a controlled collapse. They use political violence on television because they want everybody to be at each other's throats. That's all by design. This is their divide and conquer. They're masters of brainwashing the masses. So they show this political violence, and they want you all wrapped up into this. Vanishing social trust. People don't trust the system no more. Okay? And the sweeping monetary restructuring that's happening behind closed doors. All right, the monetary system, because they're going to go away with that dollar, and it's going to go right into the devil's chip. All right, that's why we tell you, brothers and sisters, to have gold, silver, to barter and to move around, because people will trade food for you, eggs, chickens, whatever. All right, not everybody's going to comply with this. All right. The monetary reset and its psychological impact on the people. That money is a tool for behavioral control. Money is a tool. Right? They're gonna use money because most people will be destitute. And like right now, just like with all these people that are losing their jobs, they know they have you by the balls. All right, excuse my language. They know people can't find jobs, and they're gonna lowball you all the way down. They don't care how many degrees you have. That's why you better be prepared. All right, just like in World War I, World War II, they had people working for pennies, and you had no choice. It's eat a loaf of bread or a slice of bread or die. All right, they know they have you. All right, all these people that are losing their corporate jobs, they're never going to see that job again. They're never going to get paid like that again. You'll be lucky if you get a job at Walmart. All right, and they're using AI to really put the screws to you. AI now, you just put your name when you get an application. These corporations are using AI, and it already knows if you're destitute, how long you have been working. They know everything about you, and they'll know if you're behind on bills. So when you when you try to go for this job, they're gonna lowball you all the way to where you're just gonna say, "I'll do whatever you want. I will obey," and they're gonna treat you like trash. All right, they're gonna use AI. AI, man. Let me tell you something. They're already using it. They're already using it on people that deliver for DoorDash and those other companies. I can't even think of all of them. They use it. They know what people are the most desperate, and they give you the lowest pay when you do a delivery. If there's a delivery for $8 and they know you're desperate, they're only going to pay you $2 to drive a Starbucks coffee 8 miles. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to need that $2. So they're going to put the screws to you. That's why we've been warning you, brothers and sisters and people on the sidelines and people sitting on the bleachers. All right, this is not a joke. We're the only ones that know this truth, of this knowledge and wisdom. And remember, the Most High God is bringing the whole system down. He controls the right and the left. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. All right, so it says right here, the monetary reset and its psychological impact on the people, that money is a tool for behavioral control. They're going to be able to control you. All right, they're going to give you a couple nickels and a quarter. You're just going to be happy if they give you just enough for a loaf of bread. All right, you don't want to be in this situation. You don't want to be where you have to be in line with hundreds or thousands of people for some rotten cheese and some cans of food that they put forever chemicals in there, because it's going to destroy your body. Like I said, you're going to be a part of that movie Soylent Green, where they use human bodies for food. It says behavioral control with debt leading to engineered obedience. Currency happens over years, and the public only becomes aware of it when it's too late. And we're in that stage now, where people are like, why is silver at $62? I thought it was like, some years ago, it was only like $8 an ounce. You know, they looked at it like it was nothing. And they had that all designed like that. They wanted you to look at gold and silver, that you don't need that. That cash was king. Okay? But the public don't. It says the currency change, and this happens over years, and the public only becoming aware of it when it's too late. Like people just within a year really seeing what inflation is doing to their families, and it's destroying them. It's already at the last stage. We've been seeing this since I would say probably in the early 2000s. All right, because back in the 80s, that was the times of plenty. The 70s and the 80s. The 90s were still good. You could make a lot of money out there in the 90s. But in the 2000s, we seen that things were changing. Malls were closing. We seen this, the older men in this truth. We seen that the economy was getting weak, all right, and the dollar was getting weaker by the day. But we really started to see it in 2008, and then 2000. We've been just hanging on a string since 2008. It's just been getting worse. But 2020, God knocked you off your high horses, and it's been getting worse every year since. All right. But the public only becomes aware of it when it's too late. It's already it's almost over. All right. I always say there might just be a few more months before you start seeing that hyperinflation, and this is going to knock the socks off of people's feet when they go to buy a hot dog at 7-Eleven, and it's no longer $2-3. It's $18 for a hot dog. And then the next day they go, it's $22. And then they go the next day on a Thursday, and it's $28. And on Friday it goes up to $42 for a hot dog. All right, you're gonna see this. All right, and that shows that in the movie Soylent Green. Only the rich could buy a steak. You're not even gonna see meat no more. And I remember watching a movie way back in the day where these kids were starving to death, and they grabbed magazines and they played like a game, and they would cut out the little pictures of food and they would eat the paper. I can't remember what that movie was. Way back in the day. It might have been in the 90s when I watched that. And they were eating the paper as food. and they were like, this tastes so good, and they remember how it used to taste, but they were actually eating the paper out of a magazine of anything. If they seen an ice cream, they would eat it. This is they were just trying to survive during a time of collapse. All right, and people are going to do the unthinkable during this time. They're going to eat their pets, and then they're going to start eating each other. It's in the holy book, and this is because the sins have reached the heavens. Confusion is the most effective tool for control, making people freeze and comply rather than to resist the powers, all right, of your government. The nature of money and control. Money is seen as a psychological leverage, and debt keeps people overwhelmed and compliant, preventing them from questioning the system. Did you hear that? They want you in debt, all right? They just want you working, and in a man's mind, in a female's mind, they say, I just got to go to work because all these bills are just coming in. They've already programmed you to pay taxes and to pay your bills and to keep you busy and working. And then when you get off, they want you to go drink, they want you to get high, and they want you to go home and maybe watch a movie and go to sleep and to go back to work again. All right? They want you confused, they want you out of your mind, and they just want you working. And once you can't work, all right, they're going to bury you in the ground, and you're going to push up daisies. All right? So the money is seen as a psychological leverage, and to keep people in debt keeps people overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed when you start getting these bills. You owe this much, you're getting hit with. You're just drowning in debt. All right? You shouldn't be in debt. All right? And then what people buy out there, all right, just buying junk. The only thing you should be worried about buying is food. All right, and if you need a pair of shoes or something like that, your basic needs. But food, you should be buying like we've been telling you, gold and silver, and you put it away, right, for a rainy day. That's why you've seen your federal government, within a month, they were already in line for food. Then people are not prepared. But that's the system that they built. Keep you in debt, keep you working. You're never gonna save. All right, this is all by design. All right, and they want you to keeps people overwhelmed and compliant, preventing them from questioning the system. All right, ignoring warning signs. People often ignore financial red flags due to the comfort over reality, making denial an expensive choice in the long run. That's a good one there. People often ignore financial red flags. They ignore it, all right, because they're in fantasy rules. They ignore the red flags that things are too expensive, rent, mortgage, buying a car, everything is doubled and tripled. You have these cars, cheap plastic cars for $50,000, and then you have these people that lease or buy a 100,000 truck, and they're paying $1,500, $2,200 a month for these vehicles that are crap. All right, but they don't see these red flags, and that's why people are losing their vehicles right now. They can't even keep up. The repo business is they're making a ton of money right now, picking up all these cars. All right, but these people don't see these red flags that everything's going up. And like I said, most Americans are out of their mind. People often ignore the financial red flags because they want to bury everything. They don't want to face anything face to face due to the comfort. They want comfort over facing reality. That comfort is like going home, watching a movie, and just closing your ears to the world. They don't want to watch the news, right? They don't want to know what's going on. Every day I study the Bible and I study the news so I could bring out this information to you, brothers and sisters. All right, and it does take a toll on the mind. All right, thank God that God brings me peace, because I probably would have, if I didn't know this truth, I probably just would have croaked already, man. It's just so much stuff. But most people don't even want to watch the news. All right, they just want to be in comfort. They just block everything out. All right, they just want comfort. Eating ice cream. There are a lot of people are their anxiety is going through the roof. They want ice cream. They food binge, or they're on drugs or alcohol. They're finding something to block everything out. All right, they just want comfort. And I understand, it's too much what's going on right now. All right, they don't want to face reality, making denial, and that's a big word, denial, an expensive choice in the long run. The role of confusion and clarity. Confusion is deliberately used to prevent resistance, while clarity is presented as the ultimate wealth, enabling proactive decision making. All right. Right, and that's us brothers that are in this truth. We can see the picture of what's happening, but we're prepared and we're going to face it like men. Okay, but the majority of these people, they're in, like I said, they're in confusion. And when you're under confusion and you're out of your mind, they have you. All right, you're already in shackles. They already got your brain in shackles. They have these American people. They're done. Okay, and their children, they're gonna face the wrath because of the ignorance of their parents, that they weren't with the Lord and they weren't prepared. They're gonna be destroyed. Okay, these people, a lot of people are gonna be destroyed. Just mind your business out there. Don't worry about the whole world out there. All right. They threw the holy book behind their back, and now they're facing judgment. You can't save the whole world. We're only here for God's elect, and that's that. So you better start, you men got to man up, and you women got to woman up. All right. Confusion is deliberately used to prevent resistance, while clarity is presented as the ultimate wealth. All right. Using your brain, we see the picture. It's clear. Okay. And that's the ultimate wealth of having this holy book. God gave us the warnings of what's coming, and we're prepared. All right, that's the ultimate wealth. Proactive decision making, and we will make our decisions in that day when everything goes. I'm over here one day. God might say, pack up your bags. You're going to be 3 miles this way. I'm going to move. I'm not going to stay sitting somewhere. If I could stay somewhere, I'll stay there. But if it starts getting crazy and people's houses start burning down, all right, you smell someone goes into the gas lines on the block and the you smell gas, you might have to be uprooted and moved. The smart people, okay? You got to use your brain. God gave you a brain to use it. There's so many things that can happen. A flood could come. A hurricane if you're on the coast, tornadoes, all right? You could just have a mob of people burning houses down. I'm on a video, I'll be right there. So things are going to be moving quickly, but you got to use your brain to make those decisions. Should I stay? Should I go? You better be ready to rock and roll, all right? To move where you have to go, okay? Someone could be to start burning people's houses down. You might just have to get out of there. All right? Like I said, so many things can happen, but you got to be ready. Protecting wealth and identity. Reducing dependency, increasing tangibility, and strengthening personal identity. Navigate economic transitions. All right? That increasing tangibility is having something tangible. The men and women who are prepared have tangible assets. All right, I'll trade you for this, for that. I need that first aid kit. I got a couple ounces of silver. Boom, 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 boom. See how things work? All right, tangible. All right, protecting your wealth. That's having tangible assets. parenting, and generation curses. Yeah, he's giving children the gift of struggle. All right, don't do everything for your children. Show them that they have to go rake the yard before they get something. All right, helping you cook, get everybody to prep in the kitchen. Everybody helps clean. All right, I do everything. You know, my home, everybody helps out, but I wake up. I don't just tell all my kids, "Oh, you got to do this and do that." I get up and do it. I lead. All right. I get up. I make my bed. I sweep the floor. I mop. I prep my food. I cook. I have things in the oven, so when I get back after preaching, I'm moving. I go for my walks. I'm always moving. I don't sit idle. All right. So have your children do the same thing. Whoever's in the home, move. Everybody works as a team. All right. But don't just have kids doing nothing. All right. Give them, that's a true gift. Struggle is a gift. It makes you appreciate things in life. When you have these spoiled children, they're just playing video games. These girls just put makeup on their face, watching TikTok all damn day. They don't know how to make a sandwich. They don't know how to make soup. These boys don't know how to do nothing either. They're both, I mean, the last few generations, these people are worthless, man. They're not, these people are done. All right? Most of these people are done. If we don't train them right, you know what I mean? It's a gift to struggle. All right? It's a gift to be oppressed. It builds character. All right? Like I said, a lot of people are not going to make it. You see, a deliberate manufacturing of you see, is occurring to make people fight sideways instead of up. And you see, systemic issues. Depth is like engineered obedience. It keeps people compliant, makes them predictable, and leaves them way too overwhelmed to question the system at all. Governments don't need to punish people if, that's the big if they can influence what people fear losing, implying that the financial control through debt. All right? Keep you in debt, you're just going to keep on working until you just collapse. All right, and the government will punish you. All right, when you don't comply. All right? These people are evil. They will put people in concentration camps. But you brothers and sisters got to be ready and fight the good fight. All right, but they know by squeezing the people like what they're doing right now, most of them are going to comply. They're going to be on their knees. All right. And then you're going to have people that are going to fight against the system. They're going to be protesting out there. They're going to be fighting. We're going to be able to watch everything and watch this whole system burn. Okay, because it's going to get ugly out here. It's not going to go like they think. God is setting them up in traps. All right, they're setting up traps for us. God's setting traps for them. All right. We see debt leads to compliance. Money is fundamentally a tool for behavioral control, not merely math. Governments don't need to punish citizens if they can control what people fear losing, and that's their money. They'll keep, as long as they give you just a little bit of crumbs, you're going to comply. All right. You know, it's called the rat race. All these people are just moving around. Once they collapse this whole system, they're going to give you some commodity cheese and some rotten cans of food, and yet you're going to have most of these Americans, and that's their problem because they didn't prepare. They're going to eat food that's going to destroy their health. Let me see. Well, safety, self-work, linking back to brain functions, which makes yes, the government uses distraction. Just so I can read this one too. The government uses distraction similar to a magician to keep people's attention away from where important things are happening. It's a distraction, and distraction until it's too late. It's kind of like a magician. The government's job is to keep your attention anywhere except where the trick is happening, and that happens every day. All right, that's why they bring up all this internal fighting on the news with P. Diddy, with Trump being sued. That's all the tricks that they play to keep people. It's like a big soap opera. All right, when you're in this truth, you're gonna ignore all this stuff because you know it's nonsense that they're saying. But the majority of Americans love gossip. They love the soap opera. All right, and that's why they're all messed up in the mind. That's why I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, keep an arm's length away from a lot of your family members and friends because they're gone. They're not going to make it. The government's job is to keep your attention anywhere except where the trick is happening. Brainwashing, several methods of control. And it goes on. I have so many things written down. I think you brothers and sisters know what's going on. You know, I have a whole bunch of scriptures to bring out, but we'll bring them out tomorrow. But I just wanted you brothers and sisters to know about this, the psychological warfare that they're using against you brothers and sisters and the people out here in this world. Keep on fighting the good fight. Never quit. Most High willing, I'll be here tomorrow. And don't let Satan take your dignity. Thank you for watching.